Hello and welcome to the transcription explanation of this design. It was done using Loren Sherman's fan-made script using dots and lines on these 4 different stems to make our consonants. Vowels are a bit trickier. They're smaller circles, and they have different locations depending on what vowel they are and if they're enclosed on one of these 4 stems. So let's take a look at the E here. So this is an E by itself. This is a B E because this is a B stem. This is a J E because this is a J stem. This is a T E because this is a T stem, and this is a THE because this is a TH stem. So anyway, let's go ahead and look at this design. Reading the words and letters makes most sense in practice. So let's first talk about orientation and like formatting and how words are read in order in the script, especially in this design because I set this one up to be kind of loose and free-flowing. So the word order is bottom counterclockwise. And words are generally grouped into sentences and paragraphs using sentence circles or paragraph circles. Let's find our sentence circles containing kind of the chunks. So we have this big one here, and this one here, and this one here, and this one here. So this little thing kind of escaping the sentence circle going around here is just stylistic and is abnormal. This would be confusing on what order to read it in, except the line kind of makes it seem like you read it this way, and then, well, where would you go next? I guess here we. So anyway, that's how this is set up. And then this is pretty straightforward, bottom counterclockwise, spiraling inward. This is just one word, and this is just one word, so that's how that order makes sense. So let's go ahead and start with something easy. So here we have our first sentence circle, and we have one word in it. Here's our first word, here's the bottom of it, and we're going to go counterclockwise to reach our first stem. So this stem is a circle inside the circle, so we're in this row, and let's find how many lines end on it. So this one actually breaks and ends here, and it ends here, but it's important that it doesn't continue all the way through here because it needs to end here one. And then this line, even though it's in line with this line here, it ends here, and it ends here. So 1, 2, 3 lines on this stem makes that an M. Continuing around, here we have a little circle, so that's a vowel, and it's outside the word circle, and only A's are outside the word circle, so that is an A, so M-A. Then we have a shallow divot here, with 1, 2, 3 dots, so that is an R. Then we have a shallow divot again, so these are the same stems. They can be different sizes, just like this one is smaller than this one, doesn't matter. They can be different thickness and thinnesses, like this one's thicker and this one's thinner. But anyway, we have a T, because this line passes through it and does not end on it. It's just nothing on this T. There's no modifier on it. So that's just a T. And then inside it, we have a vowel. If there's a vowel consonant team, you always read the consonant first and then the vowel. So here's our vowel, and it's a little circle on the line of the word circle. So it's an E, I, or U, and it's got a line on it. So it's an I or U, and that line is going somewhere towards the middle. So this is definitely an I, because I's go towards the middle. See, V, I's go towards the middle, and U's go away from the middle. So this is an I like that on a T stem. So T, I, and then we have an N because it's a circle inside the word circle with one line. So this is Martin. And let's go ahead and look at this sentence. It's another pretty straightforward one. So here's our sentence circle. Here's our bottommost word. It crosses the bottom center of the dealio. So this is the first thing you hit from the bottom. And here's the bottom of the word circle. And because this doesn't pass the middle, you wouldn't read it until the end. But if it were here and passed like the middle, then you would read it. Anyway, that's kind of like a tricky nuance thing. But anyway, here's the bottom. And this is the first thing you would hit. So it's another circle inside the circle, and it's got 3 lines on it, 1, 2, 3, so that's another M, and then we have a Y, 1, 2 dots on a circle on the line of the word circle. It's on the line of the word circle, so M-Y is my. Continuing on, here's our next word. Here's the bottom of it. This is a little circle, so it's a vowel, and it's inside the word circle, so that makes it an O. O, and then we have another N, just like this N here, with 1 line on it. O-N, and then we have our last thing, continuing around. It is a small circle on the line of the word circle, so E, I, or U, so that makes it an E like that. So 1, continuing around, here's our next word. And then we have an A, small circle on the outside of the word circle, so that is an A. Continuing around here, we have another N. 1 line actually ends on it, just like this N. A-N, and then we have a deep divot. So the difference between these two stems is this one is more than 50% completed, and this one is 50% or less completed. So this one is a deep divot because it starts to curve back in on itself. So D, 1, 2, 3 dots. Makes that a D. So A-N-D, and then we have this word. So we have another O, just like this O. And now we have something interesting here. We have a double letter. So two stems stacked on top of each other is when you have two lines stacked right next to each other. And because these two lines are different thicknesses, they're different letters. So you read the thin one first and then the thick one. So let's look at the thin one. And it has one line on it, so it is an N. And then this thick one has 3 dots inside it, so that is an L. So O-N-L. And then we have this Y, 1, 2 dots on Y. And here's me questioning, we spell only O-N-L-Y, not O-N-L-E-Y, right? It's just O-N-L-Y? Pretty sure it's just O-N-L-Y. Let me grab my phone real quick so I don't have to redo this. O-N-L-Y. Yes, okay, cool. I thought I made a mistake, right? Okay, O-N-L-Y. Okay, and then we go, so this circle is set up in like 2 chunks, so my one and only is on the outside, and then on the inside of it, we have this next set of like mini sentence circles. So here's outer sentence circle, inner sentence circle, punctuation on the line of the sentence circles. So here we have our first word, and it starts with a shallow divot with nothing on it, so that is a T. Continuing around here, we have a 3-dot R, U with a line going outwards, and an E on the line, so true. And then we have a circle inside the circle, 1, 2, 3 dots, L, O, and then we have a shallow divot with one line, V, because shallow divot, one line, V, with an E on the end. So L-O-V-E is love, and then we have a period at the end of that sentence, because counterclockwise is the last thing we hit. So this is our first sentence, my one and only true love, period. So let's go ahead and hit the big boy E. So let's start with this like skewer with all of the big words. So here's the bottom of the skewer, which is also the bottom counterclockwise of the sentence circle. So we'll start here. And here we have our word, and this is our first stem on it. This thin line has 2 dots on it, so that makes it a Y with an O on it, like a bead on a string. So like that. And then we have a U line going outward, so U. And then we have an A, 3-dot R, E on the line, R. And then we have this big old word. Here is the first letter, E. Continuing on, you have a circle on the line of the word circle with 1 line and 2 lines ending on it. So that is an X. Then we have this other stacked double thing, just like this one over here. So we have a double stem, and we're going to read the thin one first. This thin one has nothing on it, so that is a T. This thick one has 3 dots on it, so that is an R. So T-R-A. So extra, and then we have the O, R, 1, 2, 3 dots again. Then we have a deep divot with 1, 2, 3 dots, so that is a D, I. Then we have this N, because it's got 1 line on it, just like all of the N's. So N, A, another R, and then we have another Y, 1, 2 dots on that Y, just like this Y and this Y. I kind of like doing that dotty thing. It's thing. That's how I like to do Y. So I guess I did this Y different. Anyway, extraordinary. And then we have a comma. So I couldn't fit I could put a dot there, I guess, but I wanted it in the middle. So I added another like bonus sentence circle. This is kind of like an arbitrary sentence circle just around the word extraordinary. Meh, whatever. But I put the comma on it, so that's a comma. So extraordinary, and then we have our next word. It's another big one. So here's our sentence circle, our word circle, going around here. And there's a lot of stuff happening in it, so we're going to try to keep our sentence circles separate. So let's start at the bottom. And here we have something. This one I kind of pushed with. So it is smaller, because we have this, all little vowels. So this one's kind of pushing on the vowel size, but it is still a vowel, because it's still way smaller than this big ol' stem, this big ol' stem, and this big ol' stem. So anyway, vowel. And it is on the line. It is not inside it. So it is an E. So an E can be anywhere on the line, but as soon as it, stops kind of crossing over it, the other line still has to be fully erased underneath it. It's still fully erased underneath it, and it still makes it on the line, so that is an E. So E, then we continue around again, this is the word circle. Then we have this, again, another double stem. and they're both circles on the line, so they're both in this row. And we read the thin one first, so let's go ahead and be very careful and pick out all the lines that end on it. So this has a line ending on it right here. It's sneaky. It's just concentric. Yay. Continuing around. It ends there as well. Passes through, passes through, passes through, passes through. They all pass through except for that one and this other one. So that's 2 lines. So that is an X. And then let's take a look at this one. So passes through, passes through, passes through, passes through. Ends on it. So that is just 1 line. So that is a QU. And then we have the I centralized in that. So again, like the E on the line of the word circle with 1 line coming from it. That is an I, because it's got that 1 line going towards the middle. So E, X, Q, I. Continuing around, here we have a shallow divot. Let's be very careful. That little tiny line, it ends here. It ends there, and it ends there. So this line is a line that goes wee. But here we have 1. Continuing around, here we have 2. This one passes through. This one ends on it. This one passes through. So 1, 2, 3 lines. So 3 lines end on it. So that makes it an S. Then we have this thing here, and it does have a line that ends on it right after the corner of this hexagon. So this is another I, just like this I. So SI, and then we have this shallow divot with nothing ending on it because this line passes through, this one passes through, and then we have an E. So E, X, Q, I, S, I, T, E, exquisite. And then we have our comma actually on the sentence circle, yay! Other than making a new sentence circle for it. Anyway, so here we have exquisite. Here's our next one. Here's the bottom of it. Here we have an I. And then we have another stacked double dealio. So here's the thin one. Let's go ahead and look at it very carefully. 1, 2, 3. So these lines merge and become 1 ending here. They still only count as 1 because only 1 line ends on it, because this one ends technically before it on this line as they merge. Anyway, 1, 2, 3 lines end on it. So that is an M. Then we have the thick one, which has 1, 2 lines ending on it. So that's a P. Continuing around here, we have 1, 2, 3 dots on the R, E. Okay, here we have another double line, except these two are the same thickness, so they're the same letter. So we don't need to put the stems on it multiple times. This is not a T, even though it has nothing modifying that stem, because it counts for both stems, these lines here. So anyway, let's count the lines. 1 line ending on it, this little one ends on it, and this one ends on it. So that's 3. So that's an SS. And then we have an I. This has got a line going towards the middle. And then we have a shallow divot again with just 1 line ending on it because this one passes through. So that is a V with an E in it. Because V. So IMPRESSIVE. Impressive. Here we have our next word. Here we have our first letter. 1, 2, 3 3 lines. I'm starting to feel it. This was a long one. 1, 2, 3 lines on this M. A. Then we have a deep divot with 1 line, makes it a G. I, line going towards the middle. Here we have a K. 2 dots on a circle inside the circle is a K. And yes, magical has a C in it, not a K. But because C's are stupid letters and should be replaced with either a CH to make the CH sound, a K to make the K sound, or an S to make the sound, C's are reserved only for proper nouns where it matters if it's a K or a C, like Karen with a C or Karen with a K matters. Anyway, so this is a K because this is just a common noun, not a proper noun, so that's a K. A, and then we L, 1, 2, 3 dots on the L, so MAGIKAL, magical. And then we have another and, A, N, D, 1, 2, 3 dots on the D, 1 line on the N, so and. Oh, this was the comma between these two. Here's our next bit if we're going to continue around this circle. Here we have a first word with just a small circle in it, so just 1 vowel, and it's got a line going towards the middle of it. So I, and we have this one, A, 1, 2, 3 lines on a circle, that's an M again. And then we have 1, 2, 3 lines on a shallow divot, that is an S again, with an O in the middle of the word circle, because we know that this is the bottom and spiraling inwards, that would be the last letter you read, and it's an O, so it works, because it's little and inside the word circle anyway. So am, so. Here we have the I, and then we have an N, because this is the 1 line that ends on it. And then we have 3 dots on a circle inside the circle, which is an L, with another O, Here we have a shallow divot with one line on it, which is a V. And then we have the E, continuing around, nothing else here, just the lines from the W. So here we have a shallow divot with 1 and 2 lines, making it a W. Then we have the I, and then we have our TH on the line, TH. So with, then we have our last word, circle inside, on the line, my bad. So here's our word circle, and we have a Y, because it's this stem with 2 dots. Then we have the O, and then we have the U. So continuing around the sentence circle, this is our period at the end of that sentence, because periods. Yay. Oh, this was the period here. I forgot it's the period. Periods. Yay. So, you are extraordinary. Forgot what it said for a second. You are extraordinary, exquisite, impressive, magical, and I am so in love with you. Cool. And here we have our last sentence circle thingy chunk. And here we have the name inside it. And this little thin guy is our word circle. Not sentence circle, word circle. One word left. I can do this. Okay, word circle. And here is our first stem. 1, 2, 3 lines. That makes it an M. Then we have an I, line going towards the middle. Then we have a shallow, deep divot. I keep saying the wrong thing. Deep divot with 2 dots. So that's a CH, E, and then we have a double line of the same thickness. So that is an LL. And then we have that last E. So that is Michelle. M-I-C-H-E-L-L-E. Woo! So I put a double line kind of going around the whole thing, just because it's all kind of one paragraph, and also it looked nice, and I wanted to do something to fill the negative space. So that's what this dealio is. It's just kind of like, I guess, the paragraph square, or the table square. Yeah. And as far as sizes, so between here and here is 1/16 an inch, so this baseline thickness is 1/16 an inch. And most of these guys, like, you know, this guy, this guy, this guy, like most of these normal lines, pardon the train, are that 1/16 an inch size. And then the super thin boys here, they're all 0.075 inches, which is a bit more than 1/8. Wait, no, I said these are 1/8 an inch. 0.125 inches. These are 0.125 inches wide, and this is 0.075 inches wide. Meh. I should turn off the explanation video and like take a break, because this was a project and I'm really, really happy with it. I hope you like it too. So yeah, that is that. And I hope the table turns out awesome, because this is really cool and I'm really proud of it. Bye!